All right, but look, let's get into it. Russell Westbrook, Russell.
Well, I think if we're going to talk about Russell Westbrook, we kind of have to get into the Wizards, just a hair. So, I mean, they started off the season, I think, like 3-8, 3-9. They're at 30-35. I don't know if you remember. I was like, I'm kind of bullish on the Wizards. I think they can be a good team. Russ and Beal. I'm not a big Russ guy, just the preferences discussion. But Russ and Beal should be good in the East.
Their team is not that bad.
They've gone 13-3 in the last 16 games, and a lot of that's Beal, a lot of that's Russ. I mean, Beal's putting up 31 per game, and Russ is averaging a triple-double. You got Rui Hachimura making an impact, 13 points. Bertans, he's kind of had a down year for them after they gave him all that money. And look, I'm going to list off the teams they've beaten. Orlando, Golden State, Utah, Sacramento, Pelicans, Detroit, OKC, Golden State, OKC, the Lakers, and Indiana. No LeBron, and Cleveland, excuse me.
And no LeBron when they did beat the Lakers.
No LeBron when they beat the Lakers. And the teams they lost was Phoenix, San Antonio, Dallas.
All playoff teams.
Yeah, except the Spurs are kind of like borderline, but I mean, it's not the most impressive win streak or the most impressive 16-game slate. Like Golden State sucks. It's the Curry show.
Yeah.
Orlando's tanking. I'm not trying to take away of the 13-3. I'm just making a point. Like, let's be real. Would you say Russ or Beal's like the driving force of this kind of like hot stretch of games?
Right now, I think it's obviously Westbrook, in most people's opinion, because he's back to averaging a triple-double. I'm pretty sure if he didn't score another point, he'll be averaging a triple-double this year.
No, if he didn't, if he went 0-0-0, like in all three categories for a triple-double, he'd still average it for the year.
Correct.
It's 22, 11, and 11. I mean, the numbers are fucking pretty, bro. I don't know what to say about it. Like, I like numbers. I really do, but you just got to take this shit with a grain of salt, man. It's Russell Westbrook. Like, I understand House of Highlights has got to just put him on there every time. Another triple-double for us. All the haters said it couldn't happen. It couldn't happen. How could he do this? He's been traded twice in 2 years. I wonder why.
Tell him, Max.
I mean, the guy's not that good. It's good regular season basketball. Juan likes to talk about the Bucks. Likes to talk about the who's the football?
The Ravens.
The Ravens. Man, this shit will never work in the postseason. We've seen it. I mean, look, I don't want to sound like a hater. Like, the numbers are cool. Like, this is amazing. Let's not take Russ's greatness for. I mean, like, this shit, it's inefficient. It's stat hunting. I know they're going to say, oh, he passes to teammates. It's like, dude, watch the fucking game. Excuse me for cursing. I'm trying to, like, turn it down. I'm sorry. But anytime the game's like crunch time, he can't do shit. He can't shoot. He still has no idea, like, how to, like, take a little bit off the gas. Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I haven't really been looking at you. I'm just saying, like, it just really pisses me off that people are like acting like this dude's better than Curry, better than Dame. I've seen people talking about he's the second best point guard in the league. Man,
no way.
Hell no.
No freaking way.
Look, I said this last year. If you took Chris Paul off the Thunder and swapped him with Russ, they would not have made the playoffs. Russ is a good teammate in the sense of like, oh, he's got your back. Like if Juan does turnover, it's like, no, I'm the Brody. I got $40 million. I'll take it. He's not fun to play with.
And that's facts because all the superstars that have left him, the most glaring one, KD.
But no, it's just KD's soft. He doesn't want to do the hard work. Bro, why would you want to stay with Russ, bro? Like, he's just going to take bad shot after bad shot. I mean, look, he's had like a hot tear shooting three-point line. You can't trust that shit. Like, we can list off the three-point numbers. Actually, you could just put them right here. That'd be great. It's bad. It's when he doesn't have the ball, what's he going to do? What are you afraid of Russ?
Nothing. I mean, that's really all he has, to be honest. And what do you say to people about the stat for he's the most clutch shots, like percentage-wise?
It's bullshit, bro. That is bullshit. I don't care what that stat says. He's not the most clutch guy in the league. You can name 25 people you'd rather give the ball to than Russ. I get KD, LeBron, Dame, Curry, like Luka, all these guys. Like, dude, this team's not good. They're 30-35. They're not good. They should be better than what they are.
In the East, to remind you.
Exactly. And I know they had the COVID shit in the beginning of the year. I know it's been a weird year. It's just, I don't understand what the love is about. Is it like, look, this is the reasons I love Russ. I have like, let me give you this Cliff Notes. Reasons I don't like Russ. He gets a triple-double and everyone thinks he's amazing. Tough to play with.
Facts.
Inefficient. Contract. Playoff resume. Reasons I like Russ. Attitude.
You got to love his attitude.
Like,
I mean, he's a dog.
He's a dog, but it's like, people are just gonna like praise him, bro, and just praise and praise and praise. It's like, dude, what are you accomplishing? You getting numbers. Like, people hate on Wilt Chamberlain for doing this shit, hate on all these other guys who do this shit. But it's like, bro, you put up big numbers. That's all you do. Like, we could go pull up the playoff stats. Every time the playoffs come, your efficiency goes down across the board. Like in the series where Dame waved him goodbye, he turned that into a personal match with Dame Lillard and got destroyed.
And hurt his team. Like, he turned it into a one-on-one game. And look, I think you explained it the best, Max, in one of our very old podcasts. So you have to go way back. But you said it best. He's a double-edged sword.
It's kind of like the Kobe thing. Like, people were like, why didn't Kobe take time off in his early years to preserve his body? Well, that wouldn't be Kobe then. If you ask Russ to slow it down, and I think he has to, it's like, was he still Russ? Like, if you take away the ferocity, what are you left with? And you're like, look, right now he's taking 19 shots to get 22 points. He's shooting 64% from the free throw line. That's not good enough if you're a guard. I get you fill up the stat sheet. Point guards don't do this shit. Like, Scott Brooks was like, you're the second best point guard ever. No, you're not, bro. You're not.
That's laughable, bro.
And I know we're going to do this thing where people just say, what about that run in Houston you had where they were playing small? If you have to cater your team and make them an unwinnable team to make this guy successful, let's be real. We knew the Rockets weren't going to do shit. We knew it.
Yeah.
I don't even know if we had the podcast back then. I don't think we did. But, like, we said it. And we were Laker fans. We're like, no way they're beating this team. And we're not being Laker homers. What are you going to do with 6'11", 6'10", 250? You can't do shit. And they built that team to go around Russ because you invest in Russ. And you have to play a certain brand of basketball because you can't have a guy in the center. How do you build around this guy? You have to just cater to his needs, but he's not good enough to warrant it. That's what I don't understand.
Dude, you're preaching to the choir, man. I mean,
no, like, I've been talking, but let me hear what you got to say. Like, I don't want to just be the one rambling for like 5 minutes. And I'm sorry, Isaiah. I know you're gonna hate me. That's one of my best friends who, like, he'll die with Russ because he's just an OKC fan. I'm sorry. I don't mean to do this to your point guard, but like we look at the postseason success. He ain't had shit. I know it's been bad. Team KD left. What about Paul George? Him too. Both of them are at fault, not just Russ.
Yeah, well, I'm going to say this. A lot of basketball fans love to cater around players who have regular season success, okay? It's longer than the postseason, and people get enamored with all these points and assists and rebounds. But the fact is, people, it's kind of like the same thing with Zach LaVine. It's like, yeah, you're putting up all these stats, but let's look at your playoff resume. Let's look at what you do when it comes down to crunch time. What do you do to uplift your team other than points? You know, are you a leader? Do you make people better? And when you watch the film, when you watch Russell Westbrook, yeah, it's all good and all. You know, watch the House of Highlights. You watch the flashy passes and the ferocious dunks. That's good and all, but this team is under 500, and you're not going to bring that up? I mean, like, they're in the East, people.
Take away the recent hot stretch. They're really under 500. And I'm not just saying this to get views, or I don't do this shit to get views. We just do it because we love it. It's like, catch me on the street any day. I'll be like, I don't give a shit what Russ averages. I don't care. I just look at the eye test. It's like, okay, I guess LeBron's not good because he averaged 27, 8, and 8. I guess Luka's not good because he's not averaging a triple-double. I guess all these other guys that don't get that triple-double, that stat, that means nothing. Look, if you want to talk about some of the most impressive feats in NBA history, you can talk about Oscar Robertson's, right? When you actually go back and realize, oh my God, they're taking 1 million shots a game, no one's playing defense, it's not as impressive. I know it hasn't been done that much, but maybe the fact it keeps happening makes it not that special. I mean, look, if you get 10 rebounds 15 years ago with Zach Randolph, if Mike Conley averaged triple-double with Zach Randolph and Marc Gasol down there, like, I'm impressed. It's like, who's really a good rebounder on the Wizards? Nobody. Yeah. So who are you fighting for boards? That's not like, remember when Blake Griffin came to the league and he's averaging like 11 rebounds, and then DeAndre started to play and he's averaging like 6? It's not that Blake's a shittier rebounder. It's like, oh no, he's just playing with a monster on the boards.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to. It's like they've always catered to him to get the ball, to get in transition, because he could only work in transition. It's like we talked about Ben Simmons. What the hell are you going to do in the postseason when the game slows down and it's all about the half court? And that's where Russ struggles. He'll always struggle there because he can't shoot. He's a non-threat with the ball. I mean, look, we can go back and you can put a clip of the Lakers and AD's guarding the basket instead of Russ. And then Russ makes the 1-3 and it's, yeah, I told you. And it's like 8 misses 3. Like, shut the hell up, bro. Like, You're amazing at basketball, no doubt. You're a great player, Hall of Famer, all that bullshit.
Yeah.
Like, I like you. I don't hate you. I'm just saying I hate the narrative around Russ that he's amazing because he gets a triple-double. He's not amazing because of that reason to me. He's amazing because of the ferocity, the way he attacks the basket. But what's not amazing about Russ is the shooting decision-making, and that shit always pops up in the last 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Or 2 minutes, excuse me.
And I'm just going to end this with these final thoughts, people. Because there's a guy watching this right now. He's a big Russell Westbrook fan, or not. You know what I mean? He just
they're that.
Yeah.
There's no people who hate Russell Westbrook. I'm convinced now. I've seen too much.
Look, before you go into the comment section, and before you roast us, and before you automatically call us haters, we're not hating. He's a great player. Okay, he's good.
I just want to repeat. I said that. I think he's a great player. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
And people are gonna miss that. People are just gonna look at the negatives you said. But
I guess the negatives just mean I'm wrong because I just pointed out faults. Like, oh yeah, LeBron has faults too at times. I'll admit that. I'm a big LeBron guy. Michael Jordan had faults. I don't know if you know this. Michael Jordan missed a lot of shots in his time. He didn't shoot 100% from the field.
Yeah,
that's my favorite one. Jordan make that.
And look, it's kind of like a society problem. I don't want to get all into that, but it's like once you criticize someone and once you start giving an opinion about someone, you're automatically labeled as a hater. And I don't think we're hating on Russ. I just think we're speaking the reality.
I'm hating on the narrative. I'm hating on the social media presence. I'm hating on the house of highlights. Hey, this guy, like, let's just boost this guy. It doesn't matter. He shot 4 for 24 and had 15 points, but he had a triple-double. That's what I'm hating on. I'm not actually trying to just hate on Russ, the player. Like I said, Russ is a great player. Yeah. And I know people are just going to comment, 29 triple-doubles, 29 triple-doubles. Good for you, bro. I guess it's a shitty game. Like Jet Fan Gundy said at one time, oh, he's had a bad game. He didn't have a triple-double. That's where we're at. People just want to see that triple-double, and bam.
And I just feel like people need to be more consistent. It's like people label Paul George as bad because he had bad games. You know, he gets laughed on, and nobody really gives him praise. But like a guy like Russell Westbrook, it's like everyone forgets all the bad stuff and just remembers the good. It's like they pick and choose with certain players.
I've never heard a Russell Westbrook fan ever talk about, oh yeah, he had a really bad game in Utah game 6 where he shot 40 shots for like 40 points. So you shot 40 shots in an NBA game. Like, that's ridiculous.
Yeah. Any final thoughts, Max?
I don't know why you got to get me mad to start off the podcast, bro. I feel like I'm just going to be like irritated like the rest of this thing.
You got to go at it with these Russell Westbrook fanboys, man, because they absolutely love him.
I mean, bro, catch me on the street. I'll say the same shit. I don't care. I'm not saying it for the camera.